Hello, Diane. I'm posting the links on YouTube. Hello, Trevina. Hold on, I'm posting the links on YouTube, but my computer keeps crashing. So, yeah, hold on. Be patient with me. How are you all? I put it on my timeline, but I put it on there yesterday. So that was maybe a bit late. And the Anchors Away page, I put it also. Good. Yeah, I have calmed down, but it really pissed me off. Oh, okay, I really need to put this. No, I can't put the link on the Anchors Away page. Yeah, people. I don't mind talking to people, and I don't mind chit chats. I do mind chit chats. If it's about bullshit or people who just go like, "Hello, where are you from?" I don't mean it bad, but I just don't have time for it, you know. And then I say, "I'm sorry, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for chit chat bullshit." And then people get pissed off with me. Okay, I'm not obligated anything. No, it's yeah. So I thought I would make it clear. Yes, I love that also. Just be straight with me, then I know where I stand. I know what is expected, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, yeah, let's wait a little bit. If more people come, if more people come, do you have any, did you think of any questions to ask or not? Or you didn't know? Yeah, but chat about what's going on and things like that, really, I don't mind. And having a normal interest in people is also not a problem. But it's people who expect things of me. People that, for example, a guy went like, okay, I want to get to know you. Yeah, that's not necessary. Sorry. I don't have time for that shit. I don't mean it bad, but I'm not. Yeah, creeps. People who don't get it when I say no, sorry. And I just had enough of it. It's too many of them. So every now and then I had enough. I throw it out. Hello, Igor. I just throw it out, and then usually it's quiet for a little while. And same with the creeps that give me this indecent proposals that aren't even good. Fuck off, man. Really. Yeah, all easy. You too. I'm I'm good. I don't know if you know this, but I wanted to speak about journalism today, and also especially about sources, because also what happened last Saturday. Yes, and not good ones. um, so I thought it would be a good thing to speak about. Hello before our eyes. About sources, yeah, and about journalism in general, because people don't really, and I understand this, that people don't understand, because I didn't know all these things before I did the school, and there I learned how it works. Oh, thank you, Diane. That's nice. Um, yeah. Anyway, before I start, do you have any questions about journalism? Ignore the noise. Noise can be good. There's a lot of noise here now too. Well, a lot of noise. It's not in the city for sure. Anyway, um, I made a list. I'm improving. You mean journalism, Igor? Honestly, I wanted to learn how to write. Since I'm a little girl, I wanted to be a writer. I'm one of these nerds that did. I wasn't in the family party. I was in a different room with a book reading, and I always wanted to write. So I had a tattoo shop in this time, and I ran the shop and shit like that. And I did some hand poking, but not a lot. And I was bored, so I wanted to learn how to write. So I thought, okay, I did a creative writing class, and it was bullshit. Bullshit. Of course, you learned something, but it wasn't really interesting. And then I thought, okay, I need to learn how to process information. So I have all these thoughts. How do I get them into a good line? Into a good story. So then I thought, okay, that's what journalism does. No, that's what newspapers do. Blah blah blah. So this is why I went to do the school. So I went back to school. Yeah. And then the first year, I totally fell in love with journalism. It caught me. I was like, "Whoa, is this what it's all about?" And I learned all these things. I was really in love with it. I had a few really good teachers, but there were two teachers that really, yeah, taught me the right things and put the effort in. And then the second year came, and the information got more bad, and the things you then learn is how it really works. And I really didn't like that. And then the third year came, and I did my internship at a newspaper, and I even did work there longer than the actual internship. And I just didn't like journalism anymore. I didn't like the how it worked. The things I got taught in the first year, they were all thrown out of the window while working it. And for me, this was like, what? Okay, I'm not going to do this. So that's when I stopped. After I did the third year, and then I stopped for the fourth year, because I wasn't going to do that. I raised hell in school. I raised hell. They canceled classes after that. And then I said, I'm not going to. I was paying for it, 175 euros a month, and that's without any books, without any driving there. It was 1.5 hour drive, so it was costing me a lot of money. And I don't mind this if I'm learning something, but if then the quality of the lessons are absolute fucking shit, and you already know that you don't like what you'll be doing the next year, yeah, I wasn't going to do that, so I quit. What they tell you they want to sell it to you, to what they actually want to, when you start prop you mean propaganda or not? What do you mean with that? I don't know what you mean with that. Ah, thank you for sharing. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I always say this too when people say, "Yeah, revolution will not be televised." Like, what? What do you think? What the fuck am I doing then? No, it's not TV, but you're watching, no? Yeah, I don't get what you mean with that, Igor. In school they taught me right. They taught me. They really showed me. They hey, I fell in love with it. So they showed me what it was about, what it should be, what it should be, and then the the next years and the internship showed me what it was actually. Yeah, and it's not so much about propaganda. It's about, for example, yeah, one of my favorite teachers taught me You don't accept more than a cup of coffee. So when you're interviewing somebody or you're working on a story and you meet up with people, you don't accept more than a cup of coffee. And then I'm doing the internship at the newspaper, and they have a monthly lunch with the city council. Oh, so imagine us two have the people here. Well, it's 11 would be a big lunch, but we all have a lunch together once a month. And then I get information about you, and we have a nice time. No, it's good. In Dutch, we say gezellig. And then I get information about you, and I need to investigate a shit story about you. That's not, that's not how it should work. And I understand why they do it, because they want to get the scoops, they want to get the information, blah 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 blah. But that's not how it should be working. So yeah, before eyes update, please. Significant injuries from last. There were a lot of significant injuries. Of course, you've seen the pictures and the videos. I don't believe there are any deaths. I mean, I've been overloaded with information. Not one reliable source came out, and um, I posted this street medic thing where street medics have been crossing information between each other, and nothing came out. So nobody saw an actual death. And I think what started the whole confusion, sorry, is that somebody passed out. So somebody passed out, and I don't know if you ever seen somebody pass out, but you can imagine that looks like a death, And if then the wrong conclusions are taken, and maybe one person says, "Yeah, there has been a death," and you can think about a lot of things. I don't like conspiracy theories, but you can figure out a lot of things besides that. I don't want to do that because it won't do any good. The fact is that there were a lot of wounded people, heavily wounded people, but I don't think anybody died. I also think they can't put shove that under the carpet. How do you say that in English? No, Igor, I can't find anything either. And the fact that the street medics have been crossing information, they all been asking each other, blah 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 blah. They've been asking firemen, all this shit, and everything came up zero. So, and I think they cannot, because the family or the friends of a person that died are not going to shut up. I don't believe this. This is not 50 years ago, where it will eventually leak out on social media. Yeah, pushing it under the carpet. Thank you, Kimmy. Sometimes the CRS guy was right. My English is not that good. I think there would be a lot of noise if somebody died. Yes. So I believe nobody died. I do think it was a good. Somehow I think it's good it happened because it showed a lot of things. No, it showed the anger of the people. I mean, in this moment where in Toulouse the people were screaming to the police like assassins. I thought it meant assassins, but it means murderers. That was a really heavy moment. Uh, and it's good to see what happens in that moment because that could have turned so easily. I'm happy that didn't happen because it would have been a slaughter, I think, and on the people's side because they are with more, but they are, untrained, unorganized, no weapons, no protection, blah blah blah. And then yeah, that was really tense. And then the police left. So hold on, Kai, let me read it. Yeah, will it be a threat forward? I can't answer these questions. I don't know. The problem. I'll come back to that, to sources. The problem with investigative journalism is what are reliable sources? What are you going to trust? What information? And then they say, yeah, you need to check and double check. But yeah, I can check what I want. No, it still doesn't mean it's right or wrong. So I hope it will be more of this. I hope more people will, more journalists will be investigating for sure. Would be a good thing. And MSM, mainstream media has nothing to do with journalism, in my opinion. Mainstream media is fucking marketing. Yeah, they care more. Care more about. This is not completely true, of course. It has a nuance. No. Hello. I hate this name, guy or woman. Realization. uh, Yeah, Kimmy, they turned and left. Yes, for sure. But I think this was a really good decision because that's a situation that would have turned really bad. Yeah, before I don't think there's too many people in this with their heart and their soul. So I don't think they can buy people off that easily. No, and remember with Genevieve, the old lady that got hit, the family stated that somebody came to the hospital bed to try the woman to take back the statement that it was police that hit her. This information comes out, no? Yeah, Igor, this is also not how it works. First, you have to understand how journalism works because it's not like, oh, I'm going to make a politically edged story and I'm going to steer a population or I'm going to bring this story or that's not exactly how it works. It has so many elements that you cannot say this. First, the information comes in, so you're sitting in an I don't know the English word. In Dutch it's redactie. So you're sitting in the office with all the journalists of this newspaper or TV thing, channel, whatever, and the information comes in. So you go through all the information that came in, and then you discuss what you are going to write or film about. Yeah. um, I wrote it down because I don't know it all by head either. Um, there's a lot of things that are important when they choose what story they pick. Yeah, so they look at what is it about or who is it about? Is it an important person or an important event? How far away is it, or how close by is it? How heavy is it? Is it what's happening? Is it the first time it's happening, or is it the third time already? Then it falls off. This is also a thing with what's happening in France. It's every week. News doesn't report about something that happens every week. They report about the first time something happens, or when these are normal people in the street. Yeah, and the news doesn't report about normal people. News reports about um, important people, people that everybody knows and that everybody wants to hear about. Because yeah, it's shit, but most people don't give a shit about normal people. They care about the famous person. And this is how they make their choices. And there's a long list to take in consideration when they choose the topics. So for me, this was a little bit strange that nobody responded to, or nobody went to not a lot of media went to the ICC last Tuesday. How? It's the first time Western country, European country is, yeah, it's not the first time, but for this matter, it goes to the ICC. That France is going to the ICC. It's against Macron and Castaner. Macron is a well-known person. Um, so for me, this news had all the elements uh, for it to be interesting for media, and still they don't show up. And they also don't show up. What's a really important thing why mainstream media is not speaking about France is also because they have a responsibility for the consequences of what they're publishing. So if they publish about the protests in France, and this makes the people in the Netherlands rise, and let's, for example, say there come riots from this, then this media is responsible for this. This is a what you before I was. What do you mean with this? Is exactly what your short list of most credible sources coming out of France. Yeah, but what is a credible source? I hate this, because to journalism, a credible source is the police, is a city council, is a government, is an organization. I am, if I'm something not, it's a credible source according to journalism. Thank you for saying it before I said it, but I'm not. To mainstream media, they will never see me as a credible source. Also, because I'm not neutral. This is a whole other part I really think is wrong with journalism, is they pretend to be neutral. Nothing and fucking nobody is fucking neutral. Don't sell me this shit, man. But because I am not neutral, because I say, hey, I really don't like police. I really support the people protesting. They don't see my work as credible. And for me, that's a stupid twist. But because I think I am open about how I think, I am reporting. I'm reporting about police. I am open to everybody. I don't like police. So for you, it's really good to see, easy to filter when you don't see exactly what is happening, but I don't like police, and I say, well, the police is doing this or that, but you don't see it good, then you can think to yourself, yeah, yeah, of course he's saying this. I can also edit it, and I don't say anything, but I edit it like, um, so that my opinion shows through my work and not through my mouth. So then you don't realize that I don't like police um, because I don't say it, but because the way I edit my work, won't like police because that's what you see. Do you understand what I mean with this? Because yeah, I feel it's a little bit difficult to explain. I believe, yeah, honesty and transparency. This is, listen, my profiles are open. If you have any questions, ask me. I'm really transparent about it because I think that's what important. That is what's important. That you know how I think, and that you see my work, and you can take how I think into consideration when judging this, when judging what you see and what you hear. Yeah, perception. I think it's easier to judge what's happening when you know that how the person reporting thinks, if it makes sense. Instead of me, this is why all my work is online raw. I make highlights, or not me, but Jason cuts the highlights for me. Um, uh, Before I made compilations, but I made it very clear it was a compilations, and I didn't change the time order, which happens a lot also. I didn't do that, which make a big difference also. For example, you see a crowd, the protests go like this. Yeah, the people are dancing and singing and screaming and blah 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 blah. At one point, the police attacks. If I edit it that the police attacks, and then you see the people dancing and screaming and shouting and chanting, that's a that's an incorrect view of what is happening. And by editing the raw material this way, the journalist can put in your head what they want. They can manipulate your brain like this. Yeah, I think that's really important. And I think a lot more journalists should do this. Be open about what your point of view is, what your way of thinking is, so people can take this in consideration when you publish something. It's yeah, that's a yeah, it's an important thing. And with the sources, the official sources to me are not official, are not reliable. Like I said, they take institutions, governments, police, blah blah blah. It's all reliable information, but it's not. Look at Castaner with the hospital. He said the Gilets jaunes attacked the hospital, and then afterwards, thank fuck we have cameras and social media. Afterwards, it comes out that it's total bullshit, and it's not even corrected. He never said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood." No, nothing like that happens. And that's a supposedly reliable source. Yeah, but people, not only people, but media sees this as reliable sources. This is coming back to the last weekend. I posted this like 1 million times. The only reliable source in this moment, you have to look at the situation, what is actually happening, who's involved, blah blah blah. In the Montpellier situation, the only reliable sources would be like a hospital statement about it, for family or friends speaking up about it. As long as they don't come out with information, I don't believe nothing, you know. And now it's been so many days that I believe that if there would have been a death, they would have come out. So yeah, hello Shivani. So yeah, what's a reliable source depends on the situation, on what's happening. Yeah, on what's happening. The But journalism doesn't work that way. Journalism just phones the in this case the prefecture, or they read the statement of the prefecture, and I'm still not quite sure. I'm not 100% sure what this exactly is. But they take the statement of this institution, and that's the truth. And that's not a good thing. You should. And they think, for example, mainstream media will never think that a street medic is a reliable source. Once they take the a basic thing of journalism is check, check, double check. Um, yeah, if the prefecture comes with this information, they won't go check any further. And it's also difficult because a lot of times they don't know to find the other sources. They don't know how to reach the street medics on the street, or the family. Who the fuck knows who the family is of somebody you don't even know who died? So how the hell are you going to get these sources? So they are sort of obligated to take the one source they are getting, which is supposedly reliable, and publish this. So that's a problem with sources. And a lot of people, you read the newspaper, yeah, maybe not you people, but the masses read the newspaper, read watch the TV, and they don't see, for example, police said to French television and French newspapers that I was black bloc dressed up as a journalist. The newspapers found me. Two of the newspapers found me, and I'm easy to find, I think. The television didn't find me, and then they say that the police say I was black bloc dressed up as a journalist. But the masses reading this will say to you, no, no, no. The newspaper said that she was black bloc, um, dressed up as a journalist. The so they don't read that the police says this. They read that this is what the newspaper is saying. Do you understand the difference? This is a big problem in um, mass media and the masses. This is why the people are so misinformed about everything. What Tim Buck? Hello. What do you mean? Where are you streaming from? From YouTube? And I'm close to a park in a village about 10 kilometers outside of Toulouse. Yeah, a lot of media is owned by the same people. Yes, this is true. A lot of media also, they choose directions. So who is their audience? Is it like a little village like where I am now? Here they will make in the local newspaper here they'll make local stories and not big stories because with the choice of what is news they will choose things close to home because that is what their readers want to know. Their readers don't give a fuck about what is happening in the country. They want to know what's happening in their own town, for example, no? Yeah, and they will believe whatever. They don't question it. Yes, this is something weird I realized when I was writing articles for the newspaper, and then I thought, fuck, man, in 100 years they're going to have this newspaper, because I've seen newspapers from 100 years back, and they will see this as the truth. So I'm writing history. That was a really weird realization for me because I know that not everything is true, no, and not what I was writing necessarily, but in general, what's in the newspapers is not always the truth. So, and it's also what people say. Another thing is scientists are seen as reliable sources. For example, I really don't think scientists are reliable, and I know a lot of people hate me for saying this because they say it's science, but science can be easily made up. In the Netherlands, when I was in school, there was a Dutch professor, and he brought out this research where what said that red meat made you more aggressive. Yeah, which sounds logical. And the problem is nobody has time to check the researchers. So I'm a professor. I bring out this research. This is what my conclusion, and there is no time and no money for other people to go check if what I'm saying is true, if everything is recorded, blah 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 blah. And by recorded I mean done right. Eventually it came out that he made up the whole fucking research. He made it all up. So people say, yeah, that's not possible. Yes, that is possible. Praktilega. That is possible. It's easy. So, and this is why I don't trust science. I mean, it's bullshit. They can do whatever they want, and for sure, when they're finally being checked, things will come. It will show that what they did wasn't correct. But if one is seen as credible, they won't be checked simply because there isn't time and money to do it. So yeah, I like to say that's science, bitch, but science isn't reliable. Oh yeah, yeah, MSM, yes, yeah. We all know this. I don't think that it's possible for these 6 or 7 globalist businesses to control what's happening in the small newspapers, for example. My dog wants attention. Um, I don't think they can control that so much. But then that's not necessary because then it's controlled by the monthly lunches held with the city council. No, yeah, and also telling the lies. Yeah, that's a good one too, because then they say, yeah, it's fake news. Yeah, this is what they say. Yeah, they bring fake news, but this is not completely true. They can check all they want, but re- because their sources aren't reliable. So ah, I was arrested in Basel during the European Football Championship for football violence. Okay, I was I- I was I was arrested. I was in a jail cell. They had a big prison, especially. There was a lot of people inside. Yeah, there were Russians inside, Germans, Dutch people, a lot of people. Okay, they kick us out in the middle of the night. Blah blah blah. I go back home. I open up the newspaper and I want to see. I want to see that I was arrested. No, I want to see the newspaper article about this, and I want to keep this because it's part of my history. Nothing in the newspapers. It said nobody was arrested at the match was the Netherlands against Russia. Nobody was arrested. Okay, what happens is really easy. So This is fake news what they brought. Yeah, it's not right. But the thing is, they phoned to Basel, to the official, to the police or the whatever is in charge of spreading the information. They say no, no, no arrests were made, and they say this because they don't want them to look bad that they aren't in control of the football of the event. So they say no, no, nobody was arrested, and the journalist does not know who I am. They don't know how to find me. So they can't verify, check with me if I was arrested or not. And I'm not going to phone up the newspaper and say, hello, I was arrested in Basel, so your information in the newspaper is wrong. So this is also how fake news comes out. It's because not everything is properly checkable. And this is one thing, but it goes with a lot of things like this, that news can't be checked properly because they don't know how to get to these people. Social media makes it a little bit more easy because people are easier to track down, or people are easier to how do I say this? For example, they can post a thing like, "Was anybody arrested at Basel?" In Basel, Um, yeah. So this is also a reason why fake news comes out, because it's not checkable all, and they need to rely on the source they have. And for them, it's not possible to not print anything because they need to say something about it because the readers want to know this. Naughty, naughty, yes. I always say I've never been such a good girl as I've been in France. No, I say this for a reason. Yeah, it's all controlled, but it's all controlled, but also not. It's also that you have all these elements that work against the actual truth coming out. The use of sources, the what is actually news, what do they perceive to be newsworthy, um, what angle does their reader, they have they write in a city, so they publish the newspaper in a city. What do the people of this city want to read? What is the political view of the city? This all decides how one article is going to be, so it's all controlled. Is not, I believe there is some sort of control, for sure, don't get me wrong, and I also believe that it's possible that governments say you cannot write about this or that. Sure, but there's much more to it than just that. You can't just say like, yeah, yeah, it's controlled. No, it's not that easy. It's not that simple, and you can't just say, yeah, yeah, MSM can't report about it. It's not that simple. It's not that easy. MSM has a responsibility, and MSM has a way of working. Um, like for example, the sources, what is news, blah 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 blah. Uh, yeah, things that I ignore. Rules that I don't use. Yeah. Yeah, access to information for sure. That's the thing. Yeah, but there's wind. I don't hear any satanic-like sounds. Oh my god, I don't hear it. And there's a lot of wind here, and my laptop is an old shitty fucking laptop. I mean, I have YouTube open now with the live stream. I can't even fucking open Facebook because then it shuts down. I will listen it back tomorrow or something and see if I hear it too. Professional, you mean sports? I agree to this. When I used to go to the football, I didn't care about nothing else than football. It's live for the weekend. Yeah, it's but I know a lot of people who are interested in sports that are also interested in politics. It's the thing with this is that yeah, at sports people are controlled. No, also. Yeah. Before Isis hearing it, who else was hearing it? Yeah, but maybe it's your connection or something. That's possible too, no? Or if you have a shit laptop like mine. Yeah, you're the only one hearing it, I think. Don't go paranoid now. They want you to believe I'm sorry. Okay, but what I'm saying, does it make sense? Do you get it? Do you have questions about it? Do you disagree with me or do you agree with me or talk back to me? Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see Satan today. Sorry. Let me see if I didn't have anything else to say about it. Yeah, the consequences is important also. Why MSM is not reporting about France. You know, if they report about it, and the masses rise, and mass riots arise from this, and they are responsible for this. You know, it's as a journalist, you have a responsibility for the consequences of what you put out there. Um, the video of the and this is a good example for it. The video of last weekend, Barry made a cut from it, and he did cut it where he stopped in between the video. Um, he added it in the text, so it's okay. Um, the thing is, I didn't share this cut. Usually, I share the cuts on Facebook. Blah 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 blah. I didn't share this cut because yeah, I feel sort of a responsibility if this spreads. It could lead to different emotions, to different things. It could lead to, for example, people thinking they are stronger than they are. People thinking, maybe if we organize, we can take them. It can have a lot of different outcomes than just putting out the information out there. I left it online, don't get me wrong, uh, because this is what happened. Blah 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 blah. But because it was such a tense and heavy moment, I didn't start sharing it because I didn't want to have the wrong responses to it. Um, yeah, and I usually I think the for me the truth goes before anything. You know, it's if you if a journalist way, what do you is it the truth? Is it the consequences? What is more important? Same thing as, for example, if you know something about a very famous person, do you bring it out? How does it affect their personal life? How does the fact that the public should know this weigh up against how you can destroy somebody's personal life? No, uh, and yeah, not that I'm afraid of it, but somehow I don't want this video to give the wrong impression and give people the wrong ideas. So I didn't share it on Facebook. It has been shared, don't get me wrong, and I leave it online because this is what happened. But yeah, this is one of these things where I really realize yeah, the responsibility you have about the consequences if you start if you spread information. Yeah. Yeah, it could exaggerate an already tense incident, exactly. And it could also give people the wrong ideas. You know, the people could think, oh, look, the people are strong. Next time we can go for it. And they can't because they're not organized. They're not ready for it. Blah, 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 blah. You know, I don't want to have this, yeah, to give the wrong idea. Yeah. Yeah, it's a personal choice. Listen, if it was just about me, I would spread it. But it's not just about me, no, the information. Information is about the what can this information do when it's being spread? Yeah. And then you can say, yeah, but you're spreading all this violence as well. Well, yes, but in this case, I think the awareness of the police violence is more important than one. I don't think it has these type of consequences. The rest of my work, no, I don't think it has these type of I don't think people in other countries will rise massively and start rioting like crazy people about what's happening in France. This hasn't happened, so was right with this. Um, and I do think that spreading the information is more important. And yeah, it's very important because it's coming for us all everywhere. I mean, this is something I'm convinced of. And it involves other people. Yeah, people can take different things from this video, you know, and it won't be always correct. Yeah. So I sort of explained my view on journalism. Explained how sources being picked. I explained when something is news. I'm checking my list there. It's not on a personal level, sort of intimate information. It's the fact that people can get the wrong idea from this. They can think, the people made the police move, blah 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 blah. No, the police made a really good decision to move because if they wouldn't have moved and the people would have attacked, it would have been a slaughter on the people's side. And people can take this wrong, this video, and think, we can take on the police. No, they still can't. It's yeah. What else is there? Yeah, why the mainstream media is not reporting about France. I think this really has to do with this list of why is when is something news, and France does not meet the requirements. I think it should. I think mainstream media should not follow this list. So you know, he was chatting about the Montpellier incident. But I said in the live to the police. I mean, when I heard it, I read it in my life, and I start asking a street medic like somebody died in Montpellier or what? What the fuck, no? And then it came from the front. So I was not at the front of the protest when I heard this and I asked, and then the news came from the front as well. Um, but I watch back the live and I hear myself say to the police, somebody died in Montpellier by police. I hear myself saying this, and I should have said I heard or they heard. So in this moment, it's that I wasn't doing a good job there. No, um, yeah. But then as soon as you get to your sense, or as soon as I got to my senses, I started checking, asking, all this shit. Thank you. My English is sometimes off. That's true, but I can't always find the right words, and would be a lot better for me to speak in Dutch. Yes, for sure. But one day you'll. Do you know Duolingo? I'm making advertisement now, but I love this app, Duolingo. It's a really good app. I'll type it, and you can really easy learn languages with it. No, really, it's languages in my head are that it doesn't work. It doesn't click. Only when I'm really stressed out and in a lot of shit, then all of a sudden I start speaking Spanish or French. It's but now if I have to speak Spanish, I can't. If I have to speak French, I can't. But Duolingo is a good thing to learn any language. It's a very playful way. Yeah. Uh, And also with mainstream media, what you have to remember is that they rely on ads. So marketing is very important, and this is also how topics are decided. If a big financer of a newspaper wants something published, it will be published, no, because this person, this company or whatever it is, provides income for the media. Um, so it turned into marketing a lot also, and also the subject. For example, a big advertiser does not like it. Um, um, if a certain subject is spoken about in the newspaper, so they won't speak about this. This also has a little bit to do with the neutrality of why journalists say they are neutral, is because they can sell to more people. It's a they don't have a specific. They prefer. This is how it changed. They don't have a specific group. They want to sell it to everybody, so they pretend to be neutral, so they sell it to more people. Now, this is also a thing that has a lot to do with it. Yeah, that's about it. I don't know what else to say about it anymore. I hope it makes sense, because I think if you think about all these things, then you understand better that not everything is controlled. It's not about this. It's not, for sure, there is some form of control, but not every small little publisher can be controlled like that. Um, and I also, and you can judge better when you read news. Look at this, because if you read news and watch news, the channel or the reporter or the newspaper will always give the sources. They will also say the police says, read this, read the source. Don't read the paper says, read the source. This is so important, and then you can judge, like, yeah, is that reliable or not. If it's a murder case, for example, they might not give out all the information, but it's probable that the information they give out is correct. And in a case like in a murder case, in a case where they don't want people to know there were arrests, because then it looks like they don't have control over the event, they'll say that then the police is not a reliable source. You have to learn how to judge, or you have to, nobody has to do nothing. But I think it's good to understand how news works, because if you understand how news works, you can better judge the information you are getting. Yeah. Not that I have all the knowledge, no. But this is how my view on it, and things that I think are important. Yeah. And read in between the lines, yes. And you should also know how they build up news. When they bring you news, there's a buildup of certain elements. For example, the most important, the least important element will be at the bottom, but this is also the element that will stay in your head the longest. So, for example, the army. If the army comes out with news, uh, they will. What they don't want you to think about, which they don't want you to realize, is somewhere at the bottom. Or they come out with different types of news, not just the army in general, governments. They come out with different types of news, and then they pick one news that will get your attention, which is big, and then this will get a big article. They give a lot of information about this subject, blah, and the big articles are written about it, and then they give very little information about something which is actually really important, but there's not much information about it, and it's not possible to check it, a lot of it. So it gets a little block somewhere in the page. look for those little blocks. The big articles, all that information is out. That's nothing to worry about. But the little blocks, that has the things that should catch your attention. Does that make sense? How I say that? It's it's how they play with what how they bring out the information. That's how they play with it, and how they decide what you get to see and what gets your attention mostly. The how much information they bring out, to what media they bring it. All these things matter in judging what is news, and what is truthful, and what is worth watching. It's not just yeah. I'm done early today. Karel. I don't know what a cesspit is, Igor. If you, I should find out what is a good book about journalism for this, and start promoting it. Because if you learn how to read the news, then you understand. This is also why, after I did journalism, I was really like, we are so being, it's like a screen held in front of us, mud pit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you need. I hate this word, you need, but you should know how to pick out the. You should know how to pick out how they process the information, how they bring out the information. You should know all these things. If there's a big bullshit story in the news, I'm always going to look for the smaller stories, like, what are they pulling the attention away from? You know, like this. Not a nice place. Yeah, it's yeah. Shit is the I know in Dutch there's like this basic book of journalism, but I don't know if it exists in English. I will look it up. I will write it down, because if you, it's like a, hold on. Even if you get the basics of how journalism works, then you know how to see things, and then that's a good thing. So yeah, I'm gonna find out if I can find a book in English that is good for that. I also think that they should teach people how to do that. Journalism is about spreading information to the public. Journalism comes from informing the public. Journalism comes from watching the powerful institutions and what they are doing, and knowing how they are doing it. This is what it all comes from, so the people are informed and know what is actually happening with their lives, and this is not how it works anymore nowadays. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people doing good work out there. I always say I hate journalists and modern day journalism, and this is true, but I do understand there's more people who actually do a good job, who actually work it the right way. It's just not enough. The masses. Hey, come here, come here. Zet, zet. Goed zo, doe rustig. Nee, rustig. Mm, there's just not enough of them. Yes, Tim, this is yeah, yeah. And I understand journalists want to get paid, and I think they should get paid well, you know. Uh, but it's also a choice if you bring out all the information paid or not. You don't have to do everything paid. No, you could do it partly paid and partly unpaid. Uh, you could also say, I don't need 100 euros for this article. 40 would be good too. Um, the you could tell your boss to fuck off. You can choose not to work for a certain media. Um, I understand that's not how it works. I understand that's me being a little shitty rebel. But yeah, I do think these things should be different. Like I said, you don't have to spread all the information for free, uh, which I do think is very important, especially with what I'm doing. But you don't have to do everything paid either, no, and you don't have to uh, work for the big companies only because it's good for your status and your name and your CV and all this shit. But yeah, it's a thing. No, people want a lot of money for everything they do. That's yeah. It's not only journalism. This is with a lot of things. They just want a lot of money. Yeah. What can you do? Nothing besides just not doing it, which isn't easy. Which is not easy. Have you been on Overwatch dogging? No. I went to Turkey. This is the thing that changed a lot for me. I went to Istanbul. I saw the violence in Istanbul, the craziness. This is 5, 6 years ago, no. And I went there, and this changed a lot for me. Because before that, I dropped journalism. I saw it. I didn't like what it become. I was not going to be part of it. That simple. And then when I came back from Turkey, it was really difficult for me to spread this information. Of course, we did have social media, but it wasn't in the same way, and it wasn't live streaming and blah blah blah. Also, when I was in Turkey, I did things in secret. I went to an internet cafe to upload my shit because yeah, I was a little bit worried if I would get arrested there. No, it's different level. I actually had to fight the police there who wanted to arrest me because I was filming. So they already had me on my camera. I have this on video. Oh shit, crazy times. But after that, I decided if this ever happens again, or if I ever do this again, I will do it totally different. I will be the watchdog. And before I went to France, let's say in the past years, when people ask me, yeah, what do you want to do? Now I'm traveling around in my van, blah, blah, blah. I would say, I want to go to the Ukraine, or I want to go to Syria, or I want to go to these places, to report about what's actually happening there and let the people speak, let the people have a voice. Because that's also something mainstream media doesn't do. They don't give the people a voice. You don't give the people a chance to speak. Yeah, a short little funny interview, and then they cut out the most important things for the people. Um, yeah, and then the shit happened in France, and I saw this, and then I knew this is where I had to go. Yeah, Alien Truth Seeker, shout out to you. I'm not going to stay safe. I can't do this if I worry about this. This is yeah. I can't do this if I'm worried about staying safe. It's that simple. Yeah, and Caught in Turkey would be a new game, definitely. The thing is, I just spoke to I did a short interview with a grandmother. She was in the protest in Istanbul, and she was telling me, yeah, I am here so that if my grandchildren get arrested or my children get arrested, I can throw myself into the arrest. So I get arrested too, so I can keep an eye on them so they don't get raped and beaten and blah blah blah. And then the police grabs my hands, and I they 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 wanted to take me because a photographer was arrested, a female, and I wanted to go there, and I was screaming like no because I just heard this story, no. And then they grabbed my camera and grabbed my arms, and I had to fight myself loose. And then I run after them. This is the Afterwards, I always see these things from what I do, and then I think, Judith, what the fuck were you thinking, man? I ran after the police, and then the people that I met in the protest, and the days before they came to me and they said, "You need to get the fuck out of here." They put me in a cab and I had to hide, and whoa, crazy, 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 crazy. I'm still here, no, but yeah, I'm happy I didn't get caught there. And I have to say, there I fought the police because I knew it would not be a good place to get caught. Here, I won't. If they want to arrest me here, I'll be arrested. I don't care. They have to let me out in 48 hours. It's still Europe. Have you heard of Last American Vagabond before? No, no, I haven't. Yeah, m- maybe it rings a bell. No, I don't know what that's about. He got totally different level. Yes, totally different level. Afterwards, I think, what the fuck were you doing there? You know, it's media was told not to come. At one point, they had to sort of and smuggle me into the protest with my camera and all that shit. Yeah, crazy. But now I know why I was there. I was there, so I'm doing it here right. I mean, this is something I really believe. If I didn't have this experience, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing here the way I'm doing it now. So it's a good thing. No, I'm not going to. Next week, I'm going to speak about conspiracy theories, and I'm going to explain my thoughts about that because I think people are missing a big fucking point there. And I'm not going to talk about it now, but I will talk about this next week. And I'm not going into details about different specific like geoengineering and bioengineering and all this. I'm not going to say shit because I'm not going to have a statement about it, whether it's true or not, or whether I believe it or not. But there's reasons why I don't want to talk about these subjects, and I will explain these reasons next week. Else, we'll be sitting here for another hour. Hardcore, yeah, hardcore, yeah. I'm putting myself in it, yes. I think I am made for this. This sounds stupid, but I was born for this shit. You know, everything I've done in my life makes it possible that I'm doing this now. The getting the beatings, uh, to know how to deal with the violence, to know that I'm not gonna resist arrest, the way I'm reporting, the way I'm trying to analyze things, everything I've done in my life has led up to now. I think this is normal, but for everybody, whatever they're doing. But yeah, 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 born for it. I really do believe that. I say this a lot of times. I was born for this shit, man. But I really believe I am. It sounds, yeah, too many things that lead up to these times. Too many things in my life are uh, really good. They happened, and that I experienced them for what's happening now. You know, um, yeah. I always say it was all training. No, I'm still in training. Don't get me wrong, and I make mistakes. A lot of them, I still make mistakes, and it's not saying like, "Oh, I've got the experience. I know exactly what I'm doing." I make shitloads of mistakes, man. This is not it. But I'm still sitting here. Still sitting here. I'm still doing it, and I feel it's working. What I'm doing is working. You know, I am making people aware. We all are. We all are. You know, so yeah. What I wanted to do with it is happening. Yes, a lot of media does excellent jobs without commenting. Don't get me wrong. Hey, I love a lot of other media, like NFCA media. I love their work. They really show what is going on. Blah 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 blah. But nobody's analyzing the police, and I don't get this. Nobody is keeping the camera specifically on police, and it's so fucking important. I say this to the police too. We both working for democracy. You work for democracy. I work for democracy. That's what we're doing. And in a democracy, I'm doing really important work. I'm analyzing what a powerful institution like the police is actually doing. Why is this not happening more? I don't get this. I don't. Then I think, am I stupid? Am I crazy? Yeah, but they're getting away with too much because there is no nobody. Yeah, don't get me wrong. The media is on them, but the media is not analyzing what they're doing. The media is not analyzing the situations. If you don't comment on it, and don't get me wrong, at I there's a lot of media doing great jobs, but it's not being analyzed. It's not being The situations are not being watched. Like, how many hours of video I can show you peaceful fucking protesters, and the police violence starts with the police, not with the protesters. Why aren't people recording this? Why aren't people analyzing this? Why aren't people making work from? Yeah, to me, it's like, why not? Yeah, I agree. What's left of democracy? I totally agree. I feel sometimes here in the protest, I feel like there's a dark blanket coming over us. It's yeah. If people can get arrested for no fucking reason, and that's happening, I speak to these people. They get arrested, they get treated like shit. Like Charlie, I'm going to do the interview didn't work because of the fucking Streamlabs fucking shit. But I'll redo that interview with him. I mean, in public, the police was touching his balls. They were calling him names, intimidating him. And then a few hours later, or the next day or something, he's just he can go, and no charges, no fucking charges. And I speak to a lot of people like that. They are put in the police station for 2 days, and they can go, and no charges are made against them. So that means you did nothing wrong, and you can just be picked up, put away for 2 days. What the fuck? Yeah, the fact checkers. If you mean the fact checkers of social media, I don't know who makes this shit up. Really, I tried to. I don't know who I did it with, but we were looking for, like, okay, where are the who the fuck are these fact checkers? And it turns out it are like independent people that need to do a sort of a test if they are really reliable. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, and then I think the only way to reach that part of Facebook is through Twitter or something. I should go after that one day, but I have so much other things to do, man. And that to me is something like, okay, it's not worth the fight, or not maybe worth my time and energy. I'm too busy with other things, but people should go after that. Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean. Before our eyes, I understand what you mean, but this can be tracked, and the checkers can be checked. So somebody should just start doing that. But I can't do everything. Don't have time for this shit. It's starting to collapse. You mean democracy? Yeah. Honestly, personally, I'm not even a big fan of democracy. For me, as democracy is bullshit, to be honest, because the masses decide. So 51% decides for 100%. I really don't like this about it. And the 49% left do not have a choice to not participate. This is something I would love to see changed. Is that if you don't like it, you don't need to participate. This is yeah, something I really don't like about democracy. But okay, hey, it's what the masses want. Like I said a lot of times, I don't live in one country. I don't need to worry worry personally about this shit. I don't care if I don't like it somewhere. I move. I go somewhere else. No, it's um yeah, it's a choice I made to live like this, so I don't have to be bothered with shit like that. Before our eyes, that last one doesn't make any sense to me. For ex Metabunk is Mick West, who has mainstream power structure tie. Don't know what to make of that. Sorry. Yeah, for example, freedom of choice, yes, and to do what you want. I mean, this doesn't work either. If everybody just does what they want, that doesn't work either. It's I think there should be some rules, you agree upon and all this shit. Um, um, but there at least there should be a larger choice whether you participate in things or not. And bonjour, I understand this is not possible with everything, but I think too many daily life things are regulated. Total bullshit. If I don't want to wear my seatbelt, why the fuck should I wear my seatbelt? And there's only one reason, it's because the insurance company has to pay a lot of money when there's an accident. That's the only reason you need to wear a seatbelt. Because if I wear a seatbelt or not, it doesn't harm anybody but me. It's yeah. Yeah, but a lot of things are tied to power. A lot of things are tied to power structures. It's This is why all the structures need to change. Everything should change, but yeah, that's easier said than done. No, Tim, I don't know Jimmy Dore. You have to understand that I'm a really antisocial person that hasn't been watching TV for the last 5, 6 years. That is not involved in anything since I've been traveling. I sit on beaches, I watch some YouTube videos, or when people give me a series or a movie on a hard disk, this is what I watch. Um, I like the memes on Facebook that make me laugh. Um, I do know what's going on in the world. Don't get me wrong. I have a really good view of this, but this is why I chose, yeah, not to be bothered with it too much. Also, because there was never uh, enough other people who cared. This is why France gives me hope, because a lot of people in France really care, and worldwide now. I mean, look at fucking China. It really makes me smile if I see the people resisting there, because they really are putting up a fight to, and they haven't for years, man. If we think we have it bad, imagine those people, how they must feel. They got told for years, and this was even normal for us. They got told for years how many children they could have. I mean, what the fuck? Okay, when I have time, because this is the thing, I really have very little time to do things. I work on a lot of projects, or a lot of projects. I work on a lot of things besides the Saturday. I speak to a lot of people, even though I made the whole rant about I don't need to chat to people. I do chat with a lot of people. Um, I'm really busy, so I don't watch a lot of things. When I have time, I will. When I don't know what to do, I will think, oh yeah, I'm writing them down. And when I get to a point that I think, oh, what shall I do now? I will watch them. I will think, oh yeah, wrote down some things to watch. The No, it's not the must survive. My focus now is on the shit happening here in France. I mean, I haven't been this busy in ages. I used to be really busy. working, studying, having side projects. There were times when I slept 2 hours in the day and 2 hours at night, and then I would collapse at one point and sleep for a whole day. I used to be really busy, but then I moved into the van and then I wasn't busy at all anymore. It took some adjustment too. But now my focus is really on what's happening here and not on everything that is happening here. No, on the police behavior and the police violence. And this takes, well, 70% of my time, well, maybe 60% of my time. And then I need to make some money also. I need to survive. I need to eat, pay bills. Thanks. Yeah, links is always good. But I wrote the names down. So, yeah. And the revolution hasn't begun yet. We're still in front of the revolution. Yeah, it's not here yet. Okay. Anything else? A lot of energy. Yeah, it takes a lot of energy. This is the thing. And I don't mind. I love that I'm doing this. I mean, I love that it's possible to do this. I love there is so much going on in the world. Yesterday, I read somebody who said, this world is making me depressed or something like this. And I said, how the fuck can you say this, man? We are living in the time that we can actually change something, that we can make things better. And um, we are part of this. We can be part of this, we can do something. So even though it's dark times, for me it's also really exciting times. The changes are possible and they are possible now. you know it's yeah, people should see this as a positive thing, I think. I mean, I before France, I yeah, he needs attention, not food. But I do, yeah, I need to feed the dogs, get fed, don't worry. I prefer not to eat and feed the dogs. um Before France happened, I'm not saying depressed, but I didn't see how things would ever change. You know, I didn't see the people rise. And then France happened, and that really gave me hope. Oh yeah, they give me hope. That's what I tell them also when they say, "Ah, thank you for your work," and I go, "Ah, thank you for the hope you give the rest of the world." Yeah, yeah, but not only a good heart, Igor. I'm a fucking bitch. I do bad things also. I'm everything but only good. I can be a terrible person. Trust me. A lot of people can confirm this. And I don't mind. I don't mind. It's bad also. I don't mind. I have a bad side. But I do mind if people think I'm only a good person, because I'm not. I don't think anybody is. It's not possible. It's not healthy either. So yeah, yes, we need more solidarity in the world. Yeah, but it's important people. I think it's important people understand that. It's important people because they see this one thing I do, and of course I understand that I go for it. I don't do this half. So they appreciate that and they like that, and then they think I'm fucking amazing, and I'm not. you know I'm far from that. So yeah, I have a lot of failures, I have a lot of mistakes, I can be a total bitch, I can be very impatient. I can give you a long list of why I'm not fucking amazing. Yeah. So yeah, when that point comes, don't say I didn't warn you. I lost my cigarette. I don't like that. Okay, I'm starting to get hungry. I've been talking for almost an hour and a half again. Anything else, people? Watchers, thank you so much for watching and for talking to me and all this shit. I really appreciate it, because else I would be sitting here like a fucking moron. And I do think these things are important. The yeah, the things about journalism that people don't understand it are, I think more people should understand how this works. Yeah, and thank you all for your time, watching my blah blah blah, listening to my fucking voice, watching my fucking face again all the time. Be good, but don't behave. I made a T-shirt of this one with the logo, the yeah, my logo. It's in the right top corner. This logo with "Be good, don't behave," and with "Pop for fucking well," and with other things. But I had to shut this down. It's a shit. Yeah, maybe I'll restart it again. Maybe not. Um, yeah. No, I'm happy you're listening. I'm happy people are listening because I really think it's important. This is also important information. So I'm happy people are picking it up. Uh, because it will only make you understand more how things work in the world. No, I think if you understand journalism, you understand a big part of how things work in the world. Don't be Eve. No, don't be Eve. Be Lilith. Behave. Behave, When you leave, they say, behave, be good. Don't. No, no, be good. Don't behave. Okay. Yeah, Alex thinks I've been talking too long also. So I'm gonna stop. I'm going to eat something. I'm not gonna cook any more shit. I'm gonna make some nice bread with something. Don't know if any of you seen that picture, but that was really bad. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I'm going to stop. Talk to you online now. Next, hopefully next week or Saturday. Speak to you again. I really appreciate you, people. I appreciate you watching the lives. I appreciate you talking to me, and I appreciate really, really that you share it all, the information, so this shit gets spread. Not this. eh, The the what's happening here in France. This needs to be spread. Because people really need to be aware of it. People need to be aware of what's coming for everybody. Yeah. So we've kissed each other's asses enough again. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, love you. Yes, love you too. And now I'm really going to go. Okay. Bye bye.